Little devils is more what I hear, my father teased. He chuckled to himself. We're expecting our second any day now, Peck added, as he reached for another pen. Just wait until number 3 comes around. 1 wilding is enough, 2 are a handful, but 3, added one of the older men. Me and mine are happy with 2, but likely to end up with a 3rd if tonight goes well, teased another, followed by a wave of laughter. Oh, now look what I've started. Best run along, Kael. They'll talk about their pups till nightfall if you don't get a move on. Fathers love to brag, Father scoffed playfully. He was perhaps the most guilty of this. See you tonight, son. He waved with a warm smile, a gentle light in his eyes. He turned to aid the others in finishing the will. All right, let's get this over with. That wine's not going to drink itself. I made my way through the village once more, this time through the bustling center and past the stage where the twins would give their performance after the words of the elders. A few members of the tribe were busy setting the reflective cast around the torches along its base. When they were lit later this evening, all would be able to see the events as if the sun itself shone on the stage. I felt a rush of excitement and hurried on toward the mountain pass. I made my way through the dense foliage that grew in the loose, dark soil of the arching forest, the feel of it soft and cool beneath my feet. The smell of the lower forest was rich and earthy. The red of the lilies popped through the deep greens, letting me know the spring was just ahead. The smell of fresh water permeated the air as I neared. The surface of the small pond was calm. Not even a ripple disturbed the crystal waters of the spring, making it seem as if the few bits of plant matter along its surface were floating in midair. The lilies flourished in bushels around the spring, lining the swollen trunks of the alachine. Their vibrant red petals were a beautiful contrast to the smooth milky gray bark of the sacred trees. I knelt down near a cluster of the delicate red flowers. It seemed a shame to harm such beauty, but I drew my knife and severed a few select flowers for my cause. Night wasn't far, and the colors of twilight were beginning to seep down from the canopy into the deepening blues of the lower forest, adding a dreamlike quality to this place. I wanted to linger a bit longer, rather enjoying the solitude of the moment. I breathed a sigh and made my leave. With a little luck, I'd have just enough time to get ready before joining the others. Small red bouquet in hand, I returned to Reisenbow. Next, I made my way to Cousin Tori's hut. She had married Prov, son of Raymond, and the two lived further south along the same ridge as my father. I arrived as 3 of their 4 children ran screaming and screeching around the hut, all spattered in vibrant, shimmering colors where they had painted all over one another. Tori appeared in the doorway, pushing the hide flap aside to peer out. Colorful little handprints were smeared along the bottom of the hide. She clutched her youngest by the hand. He stood at her side, looking to me with curiosity. "Ah, Kael, good to see you. I was beginning to wonder if you would make it before I set out." Corey already came by, seemed to be in a bit of a rush. "Come in." She gestured for me to enter. I made my way through the door. Their hut was a bit larger than ours, comprised of 2 domes joined together. It smelled of flowers and soot. The shimmering colors of paint were smeared everywhere, little handprints telling a story. She released the young boy's hand. "Go play with the others, Kev." The boy hadn't taken his eyes off me, a sparkling weaver spider artfully drawn along the right side of his pudgy face. He scampered off through the door without a word. Tori made her way to the other side of the chamber where some high shelves were built into the sloped wall of the hut. She reached for the highest shelf, having to stand on her tiptoes to do so. "I saved your favorite colors, though I didn't have much red to work with this season." She retrieved 3 small clay vesicles. "Here you are. Green, yellow, and a little bit of red left in this one here," she explained as she waved one of the containers. She offered them over. I carefully placed the stems of the small bouquet of lilies in my waistcloth, as not to mangle the delicate petals before I got them to their moody recipient. "Ah, what a lovely bunch of flowers you've got there, Kael. For someone special, I take it?" she asked warmly. "Not really," I responded as I reached for the paints. "No?" she smiled. "Well, that's too bad. They sure are lovely." I pulled one of the flowers out from the rest and offered it to her. "Here, have one." "Oh, I thank you, Kael," she exclaimed. Her smile brightened as she took the flower and began working it into her hair. It complemented the yellow, blue, and green paint smeared across her arms and shoulders. Clearly the children had aided in painting their mother as well. "That's very sweet of you. Whoever she is, she'll be happy to have them." I tried not to think too far into the matter. "Thank you for the paint, Tori. See you at the festival." "Any time," I heard her call sweetly after me as I took my leave. I hurried home along the ridge. The center below was already brimming with my fellow tribesmen spattered in all colors of iridescent body paint. Elaborate costumes accented the crowd as they danced about. The music had already begun with the sounds of woodwinds whistling over the thumping drive of the drums. The gully was soon to be alive with the hearts of the Divide. A light shone from inside my father's hut, and as I entered the door I saw Corey struggling to secure a set of glittery wings across his shoulders. "Kael, just in time. Can you help me finish with my costume?" he pleaded in frustration. I set the paints I had brought on the stones around the hearth and went to his aid. He had managed to acquire a set of malachar wings and worked them into a makeshift harness to wear. The large insect wings shimmered along the dense fibrous frames that encompassed the soft membranous segments, each larger and slightly different than its smaller predecessor from joint to tip. They would no doubt look splendid as he masqueraded about the festival. It didn't take long to secure the drooping wings at his bag. Thanks, Kael. Gotta rush. I'm meeting Tiala. She's probably already there waiting for me. She accepted. We are to attend the festival together. Can you believe it? Corey exclaimed, happy to boast he had apparently caught the attentions of the young maiden he fancied. It was no surprise at all to anyone other than Corey. He was always too focused on winning her favor to realize he already had it. She giggled like an idiot whenever he came around. He had certainly put more effort into the detail of this year's attire, painted in broad finger-width stripes of yellow and orange from his ankles to his shoulders. He had managed quite well, his look both colorful and cohesive. Each of us had our reasons, I suppose, that which drove us through tomorrow. His intended was a robust young beauty with soft brown eyes that sparkled as if she wore a smile, even when she didn't. She was a warm and caring soul, and Corey was like a blissful child when he had her attention. She also had the fullest breast of all the young maidens, a point the twins constantly teased to be Corey's true motive. Wonderful, I said as warmly as possible, though my excitement was nowhere near his own. He stood tall and proud of his work, 2 stalks of grass fitted to stand like antennae from his headband. What do you think? He asked, placing his fist at his hips and puffing out his chest. He wore nothing but the headband, the wings, and his waistcloths, spattered with paint from where he had apparently wiped his fingers between colors. I smiled at this. Well done, brother, I admitted. I had no such costume planned. I hadn't the faintest idea what I would do, and time was running out.